rip sessions. We never get enough. Big hits, hold that card up high. Old time fun and a wild surprise. A wild surprise.
Hey, what's up? Jonathan Fink, Sports Card Collectors Club, and this is Rip Sessions. We do this every other Tuesday night. It's like a local card shop, sitting at a table and ripping packs. And usually we have some random guests come in and out. And if there's no guests, we rip packs by myself. The show must go on. And then it's more like my show, the Card Life Chronicles, which is me ripping packs. So I just finished as a guest on the Pokemon debut podcast on the Collecting and Connecting Podcast Network. So let me take a break real quick. Let me let the chat room fill up, and we will get started. Thanks so much, guys, for being here. I appreciate it. Setting up the YouTube, it was not synced up right. There we go. All right, we're good. All right, so we're live. We're gonna rip some packs, and I'm making no mistake about it. I'm wearing a basketball jersey, and we're gonna search for Dylan Harper rookie patch autos. We got more Topps Chrome tonight. So let me take a quick break and get recharged, and then we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have a rip session. Here we go. Thanks for the patience. Back in a minute, guys. Have created community. So let's talk about that. I went to Rip Night at your shop. Let's rip another pack. And I went to your Rip Night 2 years ago, and it was one of the best. I wrote about it in volume 1. It was one of the best times I've ever had. You guys had this giant scoreboard where you had the chase cards, and everyone can buy whatever product you wanted, like buy 3, get 1 free, whatever product, whatever it was. You then, if you pull a Bronny James, you then get another blaster. Or I pulled a Reed Shepherd auto, and then I got a free T-shirt. And I sat around the table with strangers and had the best time ever. So let's talk about how important community is, and what you guys do is provide an anchor for community in our town. How important that is.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like you said, one of our taglines, we say we'll make an offer on anything, but like you said, I mean, we got to pay what it's worth, and so if it's junk wax, it's going to be junk wax prices, which unfortunately, you know, a lot of people end up thinking that their 87 Topps Barry Bonds is going to be a couple $100 or something.
It's worth nothing, people. about the reaction of the players, the other players,
yeah.
when they see this bat putter. Are they
Yeah.
flipping out? They freak out when they see it?
And they see it and they're like, they just stop. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
So the reason why I asked that question is because I had that experience literally yesterday. So when I first got the bat putter, I think I bought it 6 months ago, and it's customized for the Republic Baseball League, which is so cool. And now I realize, now that I love it so much, and I got to use it yesterday, I'm like, I got to start buying them for different people. Like, anyone's a guest on my show, they're gonna get a bat putter, okay? Yeah. But the point is, I never use it because I thought it was too sacred to me. I keep it in my office like a sacred shrine. It means so much to me. But then I was like, after watching all these videos and stuff like that, I'm like, you know what? There's this indoor amazing place in Kansas City called Tap-Ins. Okay, they have an outdoor putt, but also indoor. And depending on the weather, the whole thing, it's an amazing atrium, and it's become a successful business. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? That's a perfect. It was a hot day. I'm like, it's a perfect thing to do. So my buddy Paul Greenwood, who I featured in my first book, we went and played around. And when I showed up with this bat putter, people were freaking out. They were literally losing their minds, and that's when I realized. And then by the way, it was a Sunday, middle of the day, hot as heck.
Some great sports card stories from across the U.S. and talk to an author from nearby Leawood, Kansas, who has written a book about returning to collecting after 3 decades away.
My day job is I'm a financial advisor, so I've been investing for over 20 years. In a way to express my love for the hobby, I decided, what if I write an investment book, Sports Card Collectors Club, and treat the stock market the same way I would treat the card market. And so I thought, well, how would a day trader invest in cards? How would a venture capitalist buy and sell cards? How would a hedge fund do it? As I would go through my trials and tribulations, I realized that for as much fun as I was having investing, there was something missing. And one day I was watching the Royals game on television, and it was a rain delay. And the Card Life television show came on. I was watching that episode, I was watching Matt Strom open cards and rip packs, and I started getting the warm, fuzzy feeling. I said, this is what I want to be doing. I want to get back to really collecting and ripping cards and building sets. And that's where the story of my book has changed. I go from investing back to collecting.
I'll also open a variety of boxes from different sports. So he hit the home run off me in like the 7th inning. And then in the 8th inning, JT hit a double, so he's standing on second. And Mason Wynn asked him, he's like, hey JT, he's like, I heard Strom collects cards of guys that take him deep. He's like, does that mean he's gonna send me over a couple cards to sign tomorrow? And after the game, we had won. I mean, winning is the only thing that's important to me. So it's like, I was good after the game, whatever, and JT comes up to me and he's like, hey Stromy, he was really genuine. Like he wasn't taking shots. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, when I got to second, Mason asked if you're gonna send a card over for him.
All right, how we doing? It was like it just ran a commercial, I think, without me. That's crazy. But we got 11 people in the chat. We're ready to get started. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. This is the Rip Sessions with Jonathan Fink. Since I'm going solo tonight, the format's more like my other show, the Card Life Chronicles, where I spontaneously do hobby updates and live pack openings. And yes, I'm still obsessed with Topps Chrome basketball. And it's not because I'm chasing Dylan Harper's rookie patch auto. I'm not even that concerned with pulling any major heat, any cards. I just love basketball. I've been writing the book, The Basketball Gods Are Real, and I'm just all consumed with basketball, and I'm collecting the jerseys, and I want to rip the cards. I just want to be thinking about basketball day and night. So if we do pull a numbered card or an auto, we will celebrate. I did a 30-minute mini live rip session for the Card Life Chronicles before the Pokemon show that I was a guest on. And if you haven't watched that show, go check it out on Collecting and Connecting Network. Great episode, the Maiden Voyage, the first episode of the Pokemon Collective podcast, and that was so much fun. But anyway, during that my pre-rip session, I did pull this auto. I looked it up on eBay. It's only selling for like $8, so nothing major there. But you know what? It's better than nothing. And it was nice to finally get a hit. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's awesome. Oh, Paulie, I was wondering, you put those clips on? You are amazing. I was wondering, I'm like, the Pokemon gods do that? Like sports card gods activated it? Whatever. That was pretty sick, dude. Thank you very much. I should probably have that in my intro anyway, shouldn't I, right? So yeah, so my Pokemon book has been really interesting. I've published all my books on Ingram Spark. They're the publishing company that I use for printing. I was ready to use them again. And I have the Pokemon Gods Are Real manuscript ready. I had the book covers ready. And I went to the website today and I created the profiles. I downloaded the ISBN numbers and all that stuff. And the files would not upload. The website was like not working. And I'm like, are the gremlins, is the gremlins getting at me? Is it Mercury and retrograde? Like, what's going on here, you know? And then, so I went and did some other stuff, came back from a walk. And then when I came back, the whole website was down. Completely shut down. That's never happened before. Very, very strange. I hope the company's doing okay. Maybe they had a cyber attack. I don't know. I hope they're not in financial problems. But you know what? I thought that was a sign from the Pokemon guys because there was a debate when I first started publishing. Do I use Ingram Spark, which is a, not very reputable, but not as well known as Amazon's KDP program. There's pros and cons with Amazon. They want exclusivity, so like you can only be on Kindle, but they'll pay you much more, and you also can be part of their Kindle Unlimited program where people have a membership and then they get to buy books, download as many books as they want basically for free once they've already paid that fee. And so as a writer, it's a chance for you to get your book in front of lots of people, in a very big way. But its distribution is limited. So I always wanted to go with Ingram Spark because it's global distribution. Plus, your books are not just sold at Amazon as they are with the KDP program. They're sold at Barnes & Noble. They're sold at Target.com. They're sold at Walmart. They're sold everywhere in the world, too. So I've liked that. And so I've made probably less money per book, but I've had more reach, more distribution, but also maybe less marketing power behind me. And so with my Pokemon book coming out, I've been rushing to get it ready for September 16th because that's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, and I thought it would be appropriate to put the book out at that time. And I finally had the files ready a month ahead of time. I'm in good shape, and the website's not working. And I'm like, oh God, what do I do? Because it takes time for the books to get set up. And so you know what? I thought, all right, this is a sign from the universe. Let me maybe put this Pokemon book on sale through Amazon, because if I put it on through Amazon, I'll put it on through the Amazon exclusivity program. And then, the truth is, this is the kind of book that really does have mass appeal. Pokemon is so popular, and the 30th anniversary is going to be a really big deal. So I said, all right, I'll give it a go. I'm going to spend all day getting it set up, tax ID numbers, banking, routing numbers, getting everything linked. And it turns out the ebook, which is actually with Ingram Spark the most difficult part of the process, I was able to get up super quickly. And then the paper book and hardback got hit a snag because the book covers that I had designed by my book layout designer, it's a different format for Ingram Spark. And so with the paperback one, I accepted it and I thought it would work. And then I have 4 or 5 copies on order. And then when I saw an example of one, the book cover is out of line. So I've sent my designer new metrics, but they work overseas. So it won't get done tomorrow. Hopefully they'll be able to do it. And who knows? Maybe by tomorrow, Ingram Spark will be back up and running, and maybe I'll decide to put out the paper book, and the paperback and the hardback on Ingram because they do a great job. But for the ebook, I'm not looking back. I'm going to put the ebook out on Amazon exclusively, which I think will be interesting because if in fact I get not just sales but exposure, a lot more exposure, then that might be the way I'll go in the future. So we'll have to wait and see. So so I'm excited to see what happens with that. I'm excited that the book will get on sale, and who knows? Maybe by tomorrow the ebook will be on sale on pre-sale already. Who knows? We'll see what Amazon, how efficient they are when it comes to book distribution. We'll find out. All right, but back to business. So I got a bunch of these blasters to rip. I have 1 mega. A bunch of them are sealed. Some of them came unsealed. As you know, this was the first time that Topps ever experimented with an unsealed policy. Now, when they mailed, if you bought off the EQL, off their website, they mailed you mega boxes unsealed. At places like Dick's Sporting Goods, the blasters and megas, they call them value boxes now, but I call them blasters. I try to call them a value when they cost $45, right? Anyway, they come sealed at Dick's Sporting Goods, but if you go to a local card shop, they've been strongly encouraged to do this, and they're definitely doing it. They take the seal off in front of you. At one store in Olathe, they only let you buy one at a time, one per day. At the baseball card store in Overland Park, they'll let you buy as many as you want, but only one comes sealed. The rest come unsealed. And why are they doing that? They're trying to discourage scalping. Who wants to buy a unsealed box? It could be tampered with. People don't know. They don't trust it. When it comes sealed, you can trust it. So that has reduced the amount of supply in the aftermarket, and that's great. It's kept the scalpers at bay, and even though prices are rising, they're not out of control. They're up. I think these $45 blasters are going for $60, and I think the $85 megas are going for $130 right now. Now the high box is a whole different thing, and that's still way overpriced. However, they may be advantaged. That might be a reason for that. The Cooper flag was pulled from a break in Rhode Island, and the breaker did 3 high boxes. The person who bought the break for the Dallas Mavericks paid $515 and hit a card that might be worth $4 million. So that's pretty insane. Oh, let me get my second camera up and running before we begin. So we got 13 people in the chat so far. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Too much content. I put out a Card Life Chronicles earlier today, just on a Pokemon show, and now this. So it's hard to say, stop watching this and go watch the Pokemon show. But when you get a chance, take a look. If you love Pokemon or you're interested in Pokemon, check out that podcast. It was a mixed bag of people, and I thought we all met for the first time, and I thought they did we did a great job, and I look forward to being on the next episode. It's fun. That the hobby is about community, right? When you're with people who are like-minded, it makes everyday life fun, and you make lots of friends through hobbies. And I made 3 new friends tonight, and that's awesome. So yeah, so it's so much fun. Let me get the link going here, and we'll get started. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. The support means a lot. Oh, hold on. Oh, I'm gonna have to send myself a new link. Give me a sec. Jonathan Fink, low technology, once again, on display. But we get it done. But thank you for your patience. We'll rip some cards tonight. We'll have some fun. Hopefully we'll pull some bangers. Nah, I'd send it to myself probably. Oh, maybe you just sent it to me? Hold on. No. Sorry guys, we'll get it set up. I know what to do. Somehow the link needs to be refreshed or something, probably. It didn't work. There it is. There's a new one. All right, we're good. I'm good. All right, any second. Boom. All right, we're good to go. All right, as always, we'll set up a gallery for the big hits. And we'll get these boxes over here. And we probably should do some kind of ritual asking the sports card gods for good luck. So sports card gods, please be with us. And let's have some fun. So yeah, so even though the Cooper flag's been pulled, I think the euphoria around this product is going to continue. Only 24, 25 of the 99 rookie patches have been pulled. So there's still a lot of big players to be pulled. Maybe those are not, $1 million cards, right? But they're cards in the several $1,000s. That's for sure. Evan Mobley, T.J. McConnell, John Behringer, Will Riley. All right, we'll start off with a bus pack. Yeah, I think I like that camera better. Jamal Murray, Kyle Kuzma, Cameron Johnson, Brandon Miller. It's 2 for 2 as far as busts go. It's a Luka base, but that feels like a win. I'm not sure the Lakers will be very good this year. I don't think their starting five is very impressive, but Luka's one of my favorite players to watch. I love how he dribbles. I love how he passes. This one definitely will flip. Paulie, unless you want this one, I'll send this to you. We got a Cat Ray Wave. That's got to be a $5 card, maybe 10. And then Thiero. So that pack was a. I always talk about how 85% of packs you open are busts, worthless. And I'd say only 2% of those 15% are like big money cards. The rest, that 13%, are like, it's a win. It's a decent pack. It's stuff like this, It's a good pack. It's a win, especially if you're from New York. You're really excited to pull a Cat Ray Wave. Cat, by the way, is really into this hobby, and he's been a great ambassador for the sports card hobby. I think he's got a genuine interest in sports cards. And I think he likes V-Friends too, so that's awesome. Michael Rubin always talks about 10x in the hobby. I think whether these athletes are getting paid or not, which they could be, doesn't really matter. Getting famous people involved in sports cards is going to boost the hobby. Look what happened when Logan Paul got involved with Pokemon, right? It became huge. He was a big reason for that. So I'm wearing another jersey. This is my KU alternative jersey. I'm not sure they even really wear this jersey in real games. Maybe like once or twice. Here's Mikal Bridges. Go Knicks. I think I have now 5 jerseys in my collection. Bam, Adebayo, and then Kuminga. I only have 2 hockey jerseys. I only have a couple of football jerseys. I probably have a dozen soccer jerseys. And baseball, I have over 20. I don't know the exact number, but over 20. But it's been fun to collect basketball. I like to wear a jersey of the subject matter that I'm writing about. Right now I'm editing the Basketball Gods Reel. It just brings good vibes, gets me in the feel. Creates good energy, I think. RJ Barrett, Asa Newell. Here's a Dirk Nowitzki clutch dream. What do you guys think about having veterans in these sets? Thumbs up or down? I think it's kind of interesting. It's like kind of filler, but if it's a rare card of someone that you really love, then it's probably super awesome. And there's a Caleb Love. Yeah, so one of the questions I got asked tonight, which I thought was interesting, was the similarities and differences between the Pokemon market and the sports card market. And my answer was, hey, first of all, great question. And I thought, from a collecting standpoint, it's very, very similar. Favorite, super collecting, building sets, and all that stuff. But from an investment perspective, I thought it's very, very different. Not a fan. Once you stop playing, no more cards. I think that investing is much different because injuries happen in sports. They don't, Charizard never sprains an ankle, never pulls a hamstring, never can have a Tommy John surgery. So people know, in baseball, that pitchers are not very viable because they get injured so much and whatever, and most people want to own home run hitting baseball players. But it's also the fact that, Cooper Flagg, everyone remembers, that card's going to go for $4 million, $5 million. But I have a chapter about him in Volume 2, The Flip Life, because he was the chase card even in last year as a college player. And people were trying to get his card out of the Bowman basketball and his autos, and his prices were rising big time. And then he got injured and pulled a string the hamstring during March Madness, and Duke was not good enough without him, and his card values temporarily tanked. They've, of course, since risen. Thankfully, he's been healthy and had a great season. I guess he was also Rookie of the Year now. But ankle injuries are tricky. When Zach Edey, a guy that I try to super collect and invest in and featured in Sports Cards Volume 1, he's a 7'6" dude, and when he sprained his ankle, he never really got healthy, and he re-injured it several times, and it plagued him throughout his entire rookie season. and it torpedoed his investment values. By the way, he did make second rookie all team, which I think is commendable given that he battled injuries all year. There's Paul George. There's Danny Wolf. There's Tyrese Halliburton with the red, white, and blue. Hopefully he's fully healthy. And then a base for Bogdanovic bus pack. This is the last pack of that first blaster. Oh, I get it, Paul. You're talking about veteran cards as comments and stuff like that. You think it's kind of weird. Yeah, I agree. If it's a cool like Kaboom, imagine getting a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Kaboom. Or how about this? I picked up this. What did I do with it? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Check this out. So, shout out to the guys at the baseball card store at Overland Park, Kansas. Not an endorsement, not being paid. I just love those guys. Scott, Jordan Neal, Jake, the whole crew over there. They always let me trade in my cards from the rips. No matter what their value is, they'll give me some value for them, which is huge. You can kind of keep the cash flow moving. I love, they always have good deals. Like when they have a bunch of like blaster boxes they never sold, they'll do, buy 3, get 1 free. Those got stuff like that. I get a lot of my fun banners, my random banners I've gotten from them. And most importantly, I get my junk wax from them. You can buy a full high box of 1989 Don Ross for like $35, whatever. And I love it. And I might even write a book about junk wax after I finish volume 3 of the Car Life. That's a separate thing. Well, anyway, today I went with a box full of V-Friends, kind of all the commons from my V-Friend rips. And I got $20 in value. And I bought a couple of things. Here's the first thing. Check this out. I bought a Walt Frazier figurine with a sports card in it. Now, I don't know if it's a authentic sports card or if it's like a fake, but either way, it was like, what is a shop in the middle of Kansas doing with a Walt Frazier? But I bought it, and I also got this. Hold on, check it out. It's not sealed, but it's a full high box of 1991 Bowman hockey. I mean, I loved hockey growing up. This is going to be such a fun rip. And it was a sweet trade. I traded him $20 worth of base cards, and I got a Walt Frazier, which I thought would please the basketball gods, and go Knicks, and a high box. And it had I thought I had some Rangers on the cover somewhere. Oh yeah, Rangers on the cover. So I thought that was pretty cool. I was actually an Islanders fan growing up, but I still like seeing that. I think the Rangers still have one of the best home jerseys in hockey with that Rangers across the cover, the bottom. By the way, speaking of high boxes, I got ripped off on eBay the other day, and I'm still dealing with getting a refund. Let me show you that real quick. It's kind of wild. Hold on. I paid $60 for a 1986 high box, which is a much rarer. Believe it or not, junk wax is becoming rare, guys. It's a bull market coming. But anyway, this is one of the more expensive boxes from the junk wax era. A little harder to get. I think the baseball card store has one on sale for like $65 maybe. But I saw one on sale at an auction. I think it was like $45. Once you pay tax and shipping, whatever. Maybe it came to like $55, maybe even came to $60. But I get it in the mail. Check this out, guys. Every pack was opened. So I very politely emailed the guy, and I'm like, hey, I'm a seller too. What's up? Must have been some misunderstanding because according to your picture and your advertisement, it was, and all the other high boxes I buy, they're sealed, 36 packs in there. And he was like, well, dude, you see all the extra pictures? And da-da-da-da? I'm like, bro, let me return this. I'll mail it back to you, but please kind of my money back. And he bugged it first, and I'm like, oh, come on, man, I don't want to have to complain to eBay. I don't want to have like bad karma because I know how annoying it is when I get dinged from a seller because somehow a card and envelope might get damaged or whatever, or sometimes the packages don't arrive. Who knows why? Then they get stolen. I don't know. But this is unacceptable. You know, he wanted me to. He kind of tried to gaslight me, like as if I wanted to buy. I'm like, who would want to buy a box of worthless base cards of a pack that already been opened? The fun is in opening the packs, dude. So I did eventually have to submit a thing, and I haven't seen any notice from them. It's been a few days. So I don't know if I'm going to get my money back, but I still have this here. But it's worthless to me. I've not even actually looked at the cards. Maybe they actually are all there, and maybe they're in great shape. But that's not the point. The point is you're buying a box because you want the packs. So I hope I'm going to get this back, and I'll be able to mail it back and get my money refunded. If not, it's just going to go right to the baseball card store. I'll trade it in for whatever I can. So anyway, be careful what you buy on eBay. All right, back to basketball. All right, so we're at 118 people in the chat. I mention it because I'm grateful to have each and every one of you here with me. I appreciate it so much. There's Jaren Jackson Jr. now on a new team, and Kobe Bray. It's a bus pack. Okay, so that was the first blaster. I have to say that was a total bust. Just flushed down really $50, $45 plus tax. Look, you can mass produce a product, I guess, if you want. There's supposed to be actually 40% less cards printed in this run versus Topps Chrome basketball, and it's also supposed to be better hit rates because the Topps Chrome had 300 cards, 300 players. This one has 200. So this should be a compelling set to open. My luck has not been very good. But you would think for $45 plus tax in a blaster, there should be at least something that the customer would feel like, yeah, that's a cool card, I'm not sure if we got any. Let's see real quick. Did we pull anything that was like? I mean, it gets all subjective because if you pull a red, white, and blue of Cooper Flag, that's $200. All right, so the cat that's a win. Hold on. Ruka, $1. Do the math. I think you're paying maybe like almost $2 a card now, or $176 for blasters maybe, and then, I mean, worthless. I mean, we'll keep that one that's $2, $3, $2 or $3 maybe. So I'd say, what do you think? Let's see, 5, 6. Maybe we got $11 back in value out of 50. So like I said, 85% of the time you're going to get a bus pack, and a bus pack means you're going to lose almost all your money. So I think these few cards are a little bit of flip on eBay, and for me, it's cool because I'm living the flip life. I use eBay as an excuse to sell cards so I can insert my advertisements for my books in them. So it's like a whole justified experience. It's a whole way for me to enjoy this hobby. But I only do it for that reason and to now have a YouTube channel, of course, as well. But don't rip wax because it's a good investment. Do it because it's entertainment. Because this is another example of it's a horrible, horrible investment. Real quick, the chat is just starting to blow up. Poke Economist, great speaking with you tonight, bud. Had a great time. Going to grab some sleep before work. Yeah, dude, I know the time difference in Scotland's insane. Dude, you are a great host, Sean, and I love being on the show, and you're my new best friend, and I look forward to doing it again, dude. Absolutely. God bless you, dude. That was awesome. Cart Pigs, I've seen you before. Yeah, throwback players, like comment is good, but make the top tier players rare. Yeah, I agree. Garrison Lions, I've seen you before. What's up, dude? I would say they need to be more rare. Yeah, that's right. I agree. Make them more rare. And then Evan8532, I've seen you as well, buddy. Yo, the community is forming, bro. I love it. You wrote, I think it's fine. Yeah, it's all about different perspective. My feeling is, within reason, but make them rare. Okay, so that first pack, we've now confirmed bust. But we got to stay positive and move on. All right, next blaster. I got to get one of those razor blades so I can do the old, all the YouTubers, the cliche guys, they always kind of do this thing. Maybe there's some truth to that being helpful. I don't know. All right, blaster number 2 for those keeping score at home. First pack yielded us probably $11 in value, so that was a significant loss. But as far as entertainment value and fun, I'd say it was very, very high percentage. Having a lot of fun doing this. Really love the chat, being alive tonight. It makes this really fun. This is why I wanted to do it live. Being live is authentic. It's real. There's no net. It's just me doing it raw. But also, it's not just about me and these cards. I named the book the Sports Card Clickers Club because this hobby is about companionship and community. And just like tonight in this Pokemon group, we had 5 guys on there. We all love the same thing, and it was awesome. We're like instant friends when you have the same hobby. So having the chat available helps foster community, and I'm all for that, man. That's what it's all about. John Barnes writes, yeah, I'd see the throwbacks as commons and rares. It'd be fun to get some throwbacks. And AC, good question. What is your best rip this year? Now, do you mean best rip like in most fun, or best rip as far as the most valuable card that I've hit? As far as the most fun, well, here's a here's a Rayway for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then the guy who I've hit the most so far, I'm sure this card is worthless, Trey Johnson III, rookie card. Let's think, what would be the most expensive? So in the Topps Chrome football, I ripped a ton of that, and I got smoked most of the time. I did pull a rare super short print of Jaden Daniels. It wasn't the one that was like with Japanese on it, but I forget the design. I have to look up my eBay, but I think it sold for like $500. So that was a pretty big win. Other big wins that come to mind. I pulled a Paul Skeens auto when I wrote the Sports Card Clickers Club Volume 1. When I wrote the Flip Life Volume 2, I pulled a Jesus Mate auto out of, I think, 150 out of Bowman 2025. That sold for like $300. That was a pretty big win. And then also during the Flip Life, which I wrote, I guess, 2 years ago, I pulled 2 101s out of a V-Friends 2025 Topps Chrome Series 1. I pulled a sketch art design autograph of the Daring Dragonfly, which sold, I think, for $500. And then I pulled a 101 blast off Grateful Goldfish. It sold for $2,000. And so that was, that's pretty big time. Sion James. However, I can't really celebrate the big wins too much. But you got to stay humble because I've also spent so much money on wax, and I've spent way more than I've gained. And I guess the truth is, if I was always doing it online, then there's sort of like benefit to do that. It helps me promote myself and sell books, and maybe get monetized on YouTube eventually. But for thousands of packs, I was opening at first, doing it by myself just for the love of it, because I love cards. When I got back into the hobby, but at least now there's a kind of like a purpose, and I can kind of justify doing it. Back then, I was just doing it just for the love of the game, Yeah, but I definitely had some big wins. Actually, check this out. I've pulled those 2 101s I mentioned from V-Friends. I also pulled a 101 in one of those like Leaf non-licensed college football products. I pulled a quarterback from Sacramento State. I think I eventually sold that card at a trade show. I think it sold. But I also pulled another 101 2 summers ago when my son and I were spent a couple of weeks in Florida when he was playing the Dodgers scout team, and we were playing in the WWBA championships and a bunch of tournaments in Fort Myers. And I pulled a 1-of-1 auto of Arjun Namala. Arjun Namala just got traded like 2 weeks ago at the trade deadline, but up until recently, he was the number 1 draft pick and number 1 prospect from the Toronto Blue Jays. He also happens to be the first Indian-born player. So if he makes it to the major leagues, he'll be the first Indian-born player. And so I think this card could be worth a lot of money. I actually have it on sale on eBay just for shits and giggles at $49,000, figuring that maybe some rich hedge fund guy or doctor and someone in Toronto would want to own that card if he eventually gets called up. Let me show you the card, though. It's a beautiful card, and I did send it to PSA, and it's one of the best grades I've ever gotten. So hold on real quick. Let me also finish this pack. C.J. McCollum, Chase Richardson, Russell Westbrook, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, I love Nassim Yamala. I've been following his career ever since I got the card. Some of you know I play a MLB The Show video game on YouTube and Twitch, and I only use I recreated the Wichita Crows, which is a team from the book series, and I try to only use players that are mentioned in the book or that I used when playing Out of the Park Baseball 2026. When I created the simulation, I couldn't have all the players that I featured over the years, but as many players that I could get into the book, I did, and then any of those players are eligible for me to be having on my team. So, for example, like Robert Moore, my neighbor who plays in AAA for the Phillies, he's on my team. Christian Franklin, who I know very well, who's also come out of Kansas City, Overland Park, Kansas. He just got traded to Baltimore Orioles and immediately got called up to the show. In his third game, he got his first career hit. Congratulations, Christian Franklin. He's on my team. And lots of players like that I featured in my book series, like The Baseball Gods Are Real, like Jorge Lopez and Brent Suter. And of course, even though Arjun Namala is not in the Republic Baseball League book series, I got to fill my roster with players who are actually in the game. And of course, he's related to my universe. I feature him in my Sports Card Collectors Club series. And he's on my team. He's having a decent season so far. But let me show you his card. Hold on real quick. So what's interesting is when players get traded from team to team, I asked the chat, like when Giannis gets traded from the Bucks to Miami, do his cards on the Bucks now become less fun to own because he's not on that team anymore, as opposed to like the old New York Yankees, where like now of course they were indentured servants and they were forced by contract, but like it's kind of cool how like Derek Jeter spent his whole career with the Yankees, Mickey Mantle whole career with the Yankees, and so you identify that player with that team, and when a player moves around, like LeBron, like is it not as special? Well, in this case, this is Arjun Namala's card before he was even a player. I think he went right to major leagues when he was drafted. I don't think he played in college, but this was from his perfect game. This was when he was like a senior in high school, and he was like one of the best players in the world. And so there's the 101, and it's a Genman 10 card and an Auto 10. So in my first book, the Sports Card Collectors Club, I did a whole thing on grading. I spent a lot of money on grading, and I lost a lot of money because of grading. Because when you think a card's 10, and then it gets a 7, and then it's worth nothing in the market, because these days a PSA 9 is basically like it's being raw. Everyone wants the PSA 10. There's an obsession with the 10. Now with the older vintage cards, less so, because it's so rare to find 10s. But a modern card, people want 10s, and so thankfully, this is the most valuable card that I own, honestly. It's arbitrary. Who's to say what any 101 is worth? In fact, I have a chapter called The 101 in my upcoming book, Volume 3, The Card Life, Sports Card Collectors Club, because I do now have a little collection of 101s that I've built, because there is something unique about a 101. There's no one else that owns that card. So it's kind of like peacocking, but it's something fun about it, especially if it's players that you really care about. And so I'll explain the 101s in the book and why I have them. But Arjun, I've learned to care about because I've owned this card for some time. But frankly, I would love to sell it because I would love to have a big sale that could then fund my hobby for some time to come. When I write books, most of the books are based on opening packs and writing about the experiences and stuff like that. So my career cost me money, including this show. When I rip cards, that cost me money to do that, my own personal money. Now I do it through my LLC, through Polygons Publishing, so it's a write-off business expense. So it's clever how I've done it, but it's still money out of my pocket. I can use that money to go on vacations and other things, right? But sports cards bring me joy. It's what I love to do, so it's worth the money. But you got to try to do it in a way that's prudent. So anyway, this is what I think will one day, hopefully, be my most valuable card. However, God forbid this guy gets injured and the value would tank. And that's the thing about investing in Pokemon or One Piece or Magic the Gathering or VFriends, that those characters, their brand values will only increase. They're never going to be injured. They're never going to pull a hamstring. Never have a scandal. Where a player, anything can happen to them. Injuries can happen. So anyway, but this is my most special card in my portfolio that I look forward to giving away soon for a huge price. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Anyway, I digress. Back soon. Hold on. So given that I've now demonstrated that I have a good track record of pulling one of ones, recall I've only been back in the hobby since the pandemic, so like 5 or 6 years, and I've now pulled 1, 2, 4 one of ones. It's pretty good. Bonzo Ball, Rick Barry, Donovan Mitchell, Fortune 15. It's a pretty rare insert, Fortune 15, but it's been in the Bowman baseball for some time. It's a worthless card. Miles Turner. That's another bust. I should have like a scorecard of good packs versus bust packs. If I did, I would say it's mostly been bust packs. But we now have exactly 584 people in the chat. That's amazing. I remember when there was like 3 of you in here. So God bless all of you. Thank you for joining. Hopefully we can pull some really cool cards that makes this entertaining beyond me just yapping away all the time. Here we go. Drew Holiday, Carter Bryant, Vince Carter. Vince Carter was so good, right? And then another worthless rookie. No offense to that guy. All right, 2 packs to go in this blaster. If you've noticed, the gallery is still empty. We have no cards pulled in 2 blasters that are worthy of being displayed permanently. That's not good. But it is the reality of pack openings. This is a base Curry, maybe worth $1. Herbert Jones. Austin Reeves, red, white, and blue. I mean, look, he plays in a big market. He's a popular kid. $3 maybe. And then Jalen Green. So I have to say another, you know what it is, another bust pack. All right. Last pack magic, activate sports card guys, because it's been not very entertaining with these weak packs. So let's get some good shit going here. Here we go. There's Giannis in his old uniform. Hamachimura. Zach LaVine, red, white, and blue. And Liam McNeely. Let me say this about Liam McNeely. Obviously, Con Knuppel is the big rookie patch that everyone's chasing. And by the way, he's still available. That patch is still available. But this guy I watched play during Summer League, and he was pretty good. I think he has some promise. Probably not going to be drafted on my fantasy basketball team early this year, but he's a guy that I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch his career and see how he does. All right, let's go blaster, another blaster. I actually only have 1 mega left. The rest are blasters. The megas were in less supply, and I think they were more popular. I noticed at the local sport card shops, they sold out of megas before the blasters. That was true at Artist Sports in Leawood. That was true at Dick's Sporting Goods. So maybe there's a reason for that. I'm not sure. Actually, I have an idea for the reason. All these stores are imposing minimums. So if you're only allowed to buy 2, you might as well buy 2 megas than 2 blasters because you get more cards and packs, right? It just makes sense. All right, sports card gods. Let's go. Come on. Zion James, Vucevic, Paolo Banchero, Bust City. You know what? The thing about the bust packs, it's a bummer and it's wasted money, but that's part of the magic of the pack opening experience. It's kind of like going to a Fish show. You know, it's like song, and then they bust out a song you haven't played in a while, or your favorite song, and it's so exhilarating. It's such a dopamine surge. And so same thing with pack opening. You open up enough mundane packs in a row, and then you hit a really good pack, and it's enjoyable because it's a alternative from the mundane and the monotony of what pack opening a lot of times is, bust pack after bust pack. I mean, how many Kareem Abdul-Jabbar base cards are we going to get, guys, you know? Catherine, welcome, Catherine. Catherine says she wanted some throwbacks. Well, guess what, Catherine? It's not a Ray Wave or an X-Factor, but it is the Skyhook, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the most important figures in NBA history, both on the court and maybe more importantly, off the court. And Jalen Green. Even though it's got a throwback Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, also known as Lou Alcindor before he became a Muslim, just a base card. Speaking of just a base card of a legend, we got Rick Barry, the underhand free throw shooter. Drew Holiday. Elijah Martin with the Wayrave. Liam McNeely, who I just recently praised, but yet is now part of another bust pack. My goodness. If this was a Vegas casino, I'd probably get up and just walk away right about now, honestly. But we got 674 people in the chat, and they're enjoying the hangout, and we're enjoying some cards. So we're going to rip regardless, but hopefully our pack luck will improve because, let's be honest, it can't get any worse. It can only get better. So we're going to be positive, and let's see something good happens here. Yeah, Carter Bryant, another base Steph Curry. I mean, this guy is pretty popular. It's just an insert. He's stratospheric stars. My guess is $5, but it's Wemby. That's cool. Big fan of Wemby. Didn't like how he got pouty after a couple of those losses in the finals, but in general, I think he's a unique talent on the court, and off the court, he's a very extra special human being. This is a guy who will be seen wearing a gray hoodie in Central Park playing chess with the locals. This is a guy who spent many weeks in Tibet learning Buddhism and meditation with the monks. This is a really special dude. I wish him well. I wish him good health, too. He had a scare with his, I think they call it thrombosis. It's a kind of blood disorder he had 2 seasons ago. If you remember, his card values tanked shortly thereafter. People thought his career might be in jeopardy. He had to end the season early. Thankfully, he found the best doctors and the best medical treatment, and he came back healthy and had an amazing season all the way to, deep into the game, into the game 5 or game 6, game 5, Nixon 5, at the national championship. So yeah, Wemby, he's awesome, big fan. I think he's arguably the face of the league now, and rightly so. He's terrific. And then Ricochet. All right, so could we call that a bus pack? No. I'd say this is like one of those 15, like 12, 13% packs that are like a decent pack, where maybe 2% of the time you hit a great pack. But maybe that's why people enjoy watching pack ripping, is because we like the anomalies. We like seeing the mundane pattern finally get broken. Interestingly enough, a big thing about watching other people rip packs is some people voyeur and they enjoy the reaction of the people who rip packs, and people were giving shit to the guys up in Rhode Island because they didn't react enough when they pulled the Cooper Flag rookie patch auto. They were excited, they acknowledged it, but they didn't like jump up and down like backyard breaks. They didn't act out crazy and whatever. And some people were giving them a hard time. I actually commend them. It's very similar to my interview last night on the High Hard one with Jay Destiny. We talked about how, what do I think about showboating, bat flipping and all that stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Within reason, it's fine, but I'm not a big fan. I think kids should be humble. I think they should respect the game, respect their opponents, respect themselves. But it happens. Every once in a while, I'll see a bat flip, and I'll be like, oh, God, send it to my son to show him because it's just so good. Herbert Jones. There's Giannis. All right, that's probably only $5, maybe 10. It's a moment in time rookie, but it's VJ Edgecombe, one of the top 5 rookies, who's, by the way, his rookie patch auto still available. Only Cooper Flag is one of the top 5 guys who's off the board now. There's still some big chases yet to have, so we could have a patch auto still here. These packs have been bad enough that I'd have to say that we're due. Quick drink. I'm gonna have to refuel soon, guys. Black cherry soda, my favorite. Not an endorsement. Just the facts. All right, here we go. 2 more packs to go in the 3rd blaster. Hachimura. Tyrese Maxey. He's a rare pull. We have not pulled him very often. That's a cool photography alert. It almost looks photoshopped, but he's kind of like the ball's like in your face, almost like 3D. It's a pretty cool photo. I like that. Red, white, and blue. Cameron Johnson and Jalen Suggs. Tell it like it is, people. Bus back. All right, last pack. I still have no cards in the gallery. Come on. Basketball gods. I mean, maybe it's because I'm wearing a KU jersey. I'm not wearing an NBA jersey. Catherine, you wanted some throwbacks? Well, here is... Look, we can debate who's the greatest of all time. Most people will say it's Michael Jordan. But I think it was Bill Russell who won 10 NBA championships. Might be Bill Russell. Just saying. Rudy Gobert. I was just talking about this base card of Tyrese Maxey. I wonder if it's his alternative version. great looking photoshopped image, but on the red, white, and blue, which of course is a color match because he plays for the Sixers. That's even better. This could be a $10 or $15 card. That's pretty sweet. And Tyrese Maxey's starting five next year is going to be amazing with LeBron. I hope he stays. I hope that whole team, including Joel Embiid, Rock Chalk Jayhawks, stay healthy. So that could be a really good NBA season with a lot of parity and competition. Drew FTV, cheers to you. You're another one of my OGs. I really can start to notice the community forming because people are active in the chat on a consistent basis. I start to recognize the names, and it's so good to see you, old friend. Welcome back. I appreciate you. Will Richard. All right. Let's keep going, guys. I guess let's rip the mega box. It's our last mega, and then after this, we'll be all blasters the rest of the way. But maybe this mega. Oh, no. Sorry. I see another mega. I have two megas. My bad. You know, it's hard to tell. I have all these wrappers just like thrown all over here. So, mega. Dylan Harper, Patch, are you in there? You know what I say? It's not about the big pull for me. It's because it isn't. But yet, at the same time, dude, it's like I'm running a live rip session here. Can we please get some pack luck so I can display some cool cards and make this an entertaining rip session show? Tops, you really want to show the world that these products are not good investments? Come on, let's get some hits going here. What do you think, people? Oh, I should do the old technique. Sorry. I'm trying to open it like a... All right, the chat is growing. We're now at 783 fine people. Thank you, each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless each and every one of you. By the way, I don't ask enough. I probably should ask more often. If you're watching on YouTube, or please watch on YouTube, and drop a like, subscribe, help me get monetized so I can afford more packs to do more rip sessions with you guys. It's pretty crazy what it takes to get monetized. I think you need 500 subscribers. I'm at 76, long way to go. And I think you need 4,000 watched hours. And I'm at like 76, so I'm not getting monetized anytime soon. But it would be nice to continue to grow the channel. It would be nice to get over 100 viewers. I got a colleague who I'm going to have on my podcast in August, Professor Sports Cards. Now, that dude grinded for a couple of years, and he had like no followers. And I think he did an interview with Rob Veras from Burbank. He brought his mic and he did an interview there, and that went viral. And then ever since, his show has blown up. And now he just surpassed 10,000 followers. And I forget, I just showed it to Paulie, but he has like 13,000 views, watched hours. So he's now monetized, which is awesome. Congratulations to you, Professor Sports Cards, because as someone who does this now, I realize how hard that is to do. And I respect you for doing that. That's an amazing accomplishment. Check out his show, Mondays and Tuesdays, over on his channel. And the day that he's on my show, we might have to, for the first time ever, we might have to pre-record it because we're on, I think, at the same time, I think. And we don't want to compete unless we can be live together. I don't know how that would work. We'll have to discuss that. But I'm happy to pre-record it so he can be live one way or the other. Whatever, it's all good. Scoot Henderson, John Broom. I just love his content. He did great. He did a great video last week about the current state of affairs in the economics of the local card shop and if they're profitable and if they just are selling wax or just selling singles or if they have a breaking operation. And the moral of the story is breaking is very profitable. And if you can make a gazebo or two, like kind of how Card HQ has done or Paradise Rips has done over in Vegas, you'll get a lot more profitability out of your shop if you have a space where you can break cards. Because right now it's just very popular. I don't know how long this rage and this bull market in card breaking will last, but it could be for the foreseeable future. We'll see. There is a risk that people are going to regulate it and accuse it of being gambling, which maybe it is, which may be why so many breakers were popping up in Vegas because it's legal gambling there. That's a very clever idea. I think it's probably a good idea is to be in Vegas if you're going to do this. But who knows where the future will go with that, but remains to be seen. This is Jameer Watkins, Ray Wave, Amari Williams, X-Fractor, back-to-back X-Fractors, back-to-back rookie card X-Fractors. Here's Colin Murray Boyles. And then first time we've pulled this guy in maybe ever, base card Desmond Bain. Despite all those refractors and rookie cards, I'd still call that a bust pack. maybe those refractors will get $1 or $2 tops. All right, 845 people in the chat. We just hit an hour. It's a phenomenon. Most of my shows are spontaneous. The rip sessions is scheduled, but it's just one of those things. How I don't know if people retweet it or people just going through their scroll, discovering my show down the road. But it's wild how all the time, almost all my shows, we start small and then it continues to grow and grow and grow. And you start to get 16, you're in the hundreds, and you're in the thousands as you get into the second and third hour. So thank you all of you guys for joining me tonight. I hope we can pull some awesome cards that makes this show compelling and fun and entertaining, besides me just yip-yapping about. All right, here we go. Jalen Williams, Zach Edey, Tim Duncan, Jason Tatum, X-Fractor. Look at that pass, a no-look pass. Andrew Nembhard, X-Fractor. There's a veteran, but not a legend, Carmelo Anthony. He didn't play very much defense, let's be honest, but he had a great smile, and he definitely could shoot. I thought he was a bigger deal in college. In college, he was really a force to be reckoned with. He was probably one of the top 15, 20 scorers every year, but never was on a team that was really worthy of making a long, decent run. There's the Ant-Man, Dylan Brooks. I mean, I love Jalen Brunson. He was so special this year. He was so clutch in the playoffs. If anyone deserves a insert for clutch gene, it's Jalen Brunson. And I do believe we finally now have our first card worthy of the gallery. Not because it's worth money. I'm guessing it's worth $5, because he is such a badass and he is a champion and he is worthy of greatness. I am a Knicks fan, not diehard like guys like Gary Vee and Paulie are, but I've always enjoyed the Knicks. My son's first game ever was at Madison Square Garden during Lynn's Sanity, and I mentioned that actually a couple times in my new book that I'm writing. The Basketball Gods Are Real. Walter Clayton Jr., X-Fractor, Joel Embiid, Ray Wave, Rock Jock, Jayhawk. Joel Embiid was one of the greatest basketball players in Kansas history. Rock Chalk is the expression. For those who don't know, the Jayhawk is not a real bird. It's just a fake mascot who's super cute and awesome. Here's Al Horford. This is the only card in the set that I'm aware of that is horizontal. That's very strange. Just one player. But it happens to be a cool photography alert. Look at that ball. It's like on the edge of the card. Despite the Joel Embiid Ray Wave, not worthy of the gallery, probably not worth anything in the open market, maybe $1. But at least we have one card in the gallery now. We got Jalen Brunson. Here's a DeMar DeRozan, Noah Senge, C.J. McCollum, Anthony Simmons, X-Fractor, Dylan Brooks, Wave, Micah Peavy, rookie card. Still haven't pulled any Cooper flags of any kind in this session. 2 sessions ago, we pulled a bunch of his stuff, base, inserts, red, white, and blue. But you can see how his cards are pretty rare. We don't see very much of the Big Chase card, Cooper flag, who, by the way, I have a chapter about in my upcoming book, The Flip Life Sports Card Critters Club Volume 2, which comes out on December 1st. And yes, it is already on pre-sale. Jace Richardson, Chris Paul, Sion James, Divisenko, X-Fractor, World Champion Karl Anthony Towns, and Stephen Castle. It's his second-year card, not his rookie, but it's a cool photography alert. Definitely looks photoshopped, but that's a really good-looking card. All right. More busts to go. I can't say this pack has been a total bust because one card didn't make the gallery after we've gone to, I think, 4 blasters, which has been totally pathetic. But it's still been fun, and I really enjoyed having an active chat tonight. So thank you guys. Thank you to John Barnes. Thank you to ACEB. Thank you to Catherine. Thank you to Drew FTV. There's Vucevic. Thank you to Paulie. He's always active in the chat. Thank you to Paulie. Hugo Gonzalez. LaMelo Ball. I do notice that these are cool because they have updated uniforms for a lot of these guys. And for some of the teams, like the Charlotte Hornets, all the players' photos are taken with the alternative orange jersey, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, Jimmy Butler the third with the X Factor. We don't pull his name very often. DeAndre Hunter and Noah Penda. I hate to say it, guys. Another bust pack. But last pack magic. Look, here's the thing about ritual superstition. We believe and we believe, and when our belief gets vindicated and validated, we believe some more. But yet, a true believer never loses faith. So if you don't pull anything in this last pack magic, I'm still going to say it the next time we have a last pack, which is how faith works. Here we go. Last pack magic. Come on, guys. Rick Barry, Drew Holiday, Derek Queen, insert. I forget what this is called. Oh, it's Go Time. It's a rookie card. He's not the rookie you want to pull. Christian Braun, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. That's a cool photography alert. That's a good looking X Factor. Shout out to Ben Sarath and then Michael Porter Jr. So let's be honest. We did give the Jalen Brunson a gallery position out of home court bias, I guess. But let's be honest, that was another bust blaster. So don't buy this stuff because you're looking to get rich. It's like literally like the lotto. It's gambling. Do it because you love basketball, because you love sports cards, because you enjoy the experience of ripping for the fun of it, or because you love to build sets, or because whatever reason. But you can do it to speculate too. It's your money. Just spend your money wisely. Okay, this is one of the ones that was pre-opened. Sorry, yeah, they took the wrapper off in front of me. All right, after this, I'm gonna get a quick drink break and refresh, but I'll be back. We're now at 1 hour and 6 minutes. I did have a record of a 2-hour stream, and then we broke that recently. Last weekend, we had a 3-hour stream. We'll see where this goes. I do have a lot more boxes to rip, and I feel like sometimes you buy sealed wax and you want to save it because it's fun to save it for a rainy day, to rip it for down the road. You also sometimes save it because it might be worth more. You might then flip it. But I'm in the basketball mode right now, and I'm going to rip it. And I also want to rip it quickly because anything I do want to sell on eBay, the sooner I get it on eBay, the better. Because once the market gets flooded with a lot of these more common inserts, they'll lose their value quickly. So the best time to get them is when there's still some demand for them and interest. So if I'm going to flip them, now's the time to do it. So I figured we should rip them tonight and then tomorrow and then be done with it. You know, I got a lot of other stuff. I have all this other junk wax and vintage stuff to soon open, and there's no timetable on that. This stuff, I think there's an urgency just because it's, the right thing to do. Here's Ace Bailey rookie card, Yang Hansen rookie card. So the first time I did the Lost Franchise Dynasty on NBA 2K, I did it with modern players, and Yang Hansen was on my team. It got screwed up because of the draft class stuff, whatever. And so I started over, and then I got the idea to start from scratch from '83. But Yang Hansen, he was a 7'1" guy, and he was pretty good on my team. He might have a bright future. Keep an eye out for this guy. And if he does play really well, that could ignite the interest from China, the Chinese market, in a huge way. Don't forget, unlike baseball, baseball is popular in some countries, but basketball is truly a globally loved sport. And it makes sense. I mentioned this in my book because you don't need much. You just need a pair of sneakers and a ball, and not even a hoop, just something that looks like a hoop. It could be a basket, like John Naismith used to use for his kids. There's Sagoon, and then Russell Westbrook. We rarely pull him. Look at that face. He looks demonic. I think he's still a free agent. I think whoever he signs with, he'll add value to that team. He's still got some miles on his tread, I think. Josh Hart, Drake Powell, Zach Edey, Bus Pack. We are so due, people. So due. Come on, sports card gods. Entertain us. Jordan Poole. Rashid Fleming. Whoa. I'm entertained. People debate about overprinting the current market and the over parallelization of the cards, but I personally think the parallels, whoever invented the parallel is a genius. I think it's added a lot to the hobby. So has numbered cards. For me, it's not even the exclusivity that creates forced scarcity. I just think the colored variations are cool, and like this purple, it just looks amazing. And look at that thing refract with the red, white, and blue. I don't know how much this card was worth. My best guess, 50 or $100. But we've also blown through like 4 blasts already at $50 each. So it recoups a little bit from a financial standpoint. I have a chapter about Wemby in my first sports card book. I almost should be I should be PCing this guy. I do have his rookie card in my collection of favorite cards from my book series. This one's so beautiful; it's almost worthy of going into that collection. We'll take a look on eBay and we'll see if we should flip it or not. But we finally got a really satisfying hit. I mentioned earlier how I love Wemby on the court, off the court, the absolute alien. He's the face of the game. He's probably he'll be one of the most liquid, most popular player cards. And this gallery has gotten very lonely, and it's interesting because the NBA Finals was San Antonio Spurs, New York Knicks, and there was a lot of times when Wemby and Jalen Brunson would go head to head. And I thought it was so awesome how Jalen Brunson was such a bold player that he would try to shoot threes right over Wemby as Wemby would try to block him. And I would always be like, well, how did that mismatch happen? How does Wemby wind up guarding Jalen Brunson? And a lot of the time those shots missed, but I respect Brunson. He was so fearless in that series. He would shoot over anyone. So anyway, so that's a legit hit. A purple out of 75 Wemby. I'm happy about that. That's pretty cool. Jordan Poole. Grady Dick. First time we pulled his base card. Some cards mean more than others. I gotta tell you, this is gonna go to glass. There is literally a chapter called The Missing Grady Dick Card in Sports Cards Volume 1. And it's a great story. It's a chapter where I made money in the weirdest way. He played for Kansas. He was one and done. He came out of Kansas and out of high school. It's a shame that he's part of the era where kids could go pro after 1 year instead of these old days when kids played 4 years. If he had spent 4 years at KU, he could have been really special. He could have won a national championship with us. But he had one good year, and then he was gone. His last name is Dick, so he became very popular because people would spoof on his name. But he was great, and his card's meaningful to me because I feature him in my book series. I think I might have one of his cards up there. I have to double check. I ultimately did sell the card that I featured because it was a profitable trade. But yeah, oh no, it's another card I kept. Whatever. So yeah, so that's going to go to the gallery for sentimental reasons only. And that's the great thing about cards, right? It doesn't have to be about money. Sometimes sentimental value is worth its weight in gold because it makes you feel good. DeJounte Murray, Cam Jones. Here's a Joan Behringer new edition insert rookie card. And then Amari Williams bust pack. 3 more to go. Quick break. 5-10 minutes. Got to get drink, bathroom, you know the drill. This chat's so good that every time I leave, I always feel like when I take a break that people will move on. They'll click on something else. And every time I leave and come back from a chat, there's always more people in the chat. It's an amazing phenomenon. It goes back to the idea that the longer you're live, the more people join the chat. And it's probably a function of the fact that as time goes on, if there's more likely that people who are scrolling are going to see your video. And I think people maybe are inherently attracted to live video over recorded stuff. And so that's how maybe it grows. Who knows? I have no idea. It's a mystery to me. Grayson Allen, Brooks Barnheiser. We've already pulled this, and we probably should have put it in the gallery the first time. So we'll put it in the second time. VJ Edgecombe, Moment in Time, rookie card. What's the moment in time? VJ made a voltaic NBA debut on October 22nd, 2025, blitzing through heavy defense and bearing a tomahawk dunk on the Celtics center en route to 34 points. All right, so the sports card gods are obviously telling me put it in glass because we pulled it again. And it's obviously not that rare. We've pulled it twice, but we've only pulled up 2 moment in time inserts at all, both times VJ out of 5 blasters, so it's pretty rare. We'll listen this time. We'll put it in the gallery. All right, welcome VJ. Jason Tatum, base. 2 packs to go. Then a quick break. Julius Randle, who got traded from the Knicks for Cat. It's interesting, right? Dylan Harper, rookie. We've pulled him now twice, 5 times overall. He's the number 2 rookie we're chasing. I named my last pack rip the Dylan Harper chase. We're gonna put that in the glass now. And here's red, white, and blue for Divichenko, who we just pulled twice of. I love the anomalies. Boom, back to back, very nice. I mean, the celebration. I mean, was he supposed to be shooting heroin? Hard pass on that, but I like the manufacturing anomaly. Let's give Dylan Harper some love. We've pulled him enough, and I think it's a good way to please the sports card gods for us to pull his rookie patch auto by displaying his base rookie. We'll put him right next to that Wemby purple out of 75. So for those of you who are just joining us, we're now on our 5th or 6th blaster. I forget now. We've had terrible luck, but we did pull this really sweet Wemby purple parallel out of 75. And that I feel like was, it's a nice win. All right, last pack, and we'll take a quick break. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. 990 people in the chat. We're about to break 1,000. That is awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless each and every one of you, and I really sincerely mean that. Aaron Gordon, Allen Iverson, Cam Jones, red, white, and blue, and this might be his alternative version. This could be worth a penny or two. And then Jimmy Butler, base. Still, do you think this deserves to go in the gallery, guys? What do you think? Thumbs up or down? I'm going to say no. Okay, I'm going to get a refill. I'm going to try to walk my dog real quick. Not walk him. I take him out back, make sure he's happy. And then we'll be back for some more. We'll keep ripping. Thanks for joining us. Let me stack some boxes here. Hold on. I found an extra pack. Let's just rip it. Maybe this was leftover from earlier. Tobias Harris. We've never pulled him before. Jaylen Brown. Whoa! The random pack on the floor? What? Dude. An activators insert from Wemby. We're on a Wemby roll. To be honest, it looks like this card should be from Topps Chrome Cosmic. It looks like there's like 2 planets, and maybe that's because he's the alien, but I don't know if any other players have this card. That's Topps, everyone's been worried about Topps being able to have amazing insert designs like Panini has done with Kaboom and Downtown and all that. I think this is a step in the right direction. That is sweet. Let's get some glass ASAP. So things are starting to improve. We really were slumping. We really were hurting. 5 blasters in a row. Maybe it was 6. But now back-to-back Wembys. We also got D'Angelo Russell, X-Fractor, Cayman Malioc, X-Fractor, and we haven't pulled him yet, Devin Booker, base. Still a bust. All right, Paul, if you're still watching, you can run some kind of advertisement like you did earlier. We're almost at 1,000 people. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. We'll keep going. I'm going to get recharged. I'm going to get some more black cherry soda, take my dog out, and then we'll keep going. So, Catherine, ACEB, Drew FTV, John Barnes, all you guys in the chat, thank you, each and every one of you. God bless. Really appreciate the support and you spending some time with me again tonight. So, the show's called Rip Sessions, but I know it feels like the Car Life Chronicles, and we'll address that next week. Back soon, guys. Thanks for the support. Back soon. All right, we're back, chat. And you did it. There are more people here than when I left, which always seems to happen. And I thank you very much for your patience. I accomplished everything I needed to do on my break except one thing. My sweet little dog is like deep into a meditative sleep, and I couldn't get him to go out. So inevitably, he will show up soon. And so I will take one more quick break when that happens, if it happens. Okay, so all blaster boxes from here. We literally just broke 1,000 in the chat. Thank you so much. It's amazing. It feels great to have such support. Before we start ripping again, let's just review how we've done. I think it's been 5 or 6 blasters, 1 mega. We've gotten smoked, okay? Not good. However, we did go into the break on a nice little rally. We pulled our second Dylan Harper rookie card. And that's significant because, you know, it's a decent rookie. It's actually worth a few bucks, but he is the most valuable patch debut that's still available. And I named a rip session after him earlier this afternoon. Then we got the Grady Dick base card. Worthless, 50 cents, but to me it's priceless because I have a chapter about Grady Dick in my first sports card book. And he's from the state of Kansas and played for KU. So, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Again, another Jayhawk. We pulled this VJ Edgecomb Moment in Time. We pulled it twice. So after you pull it twice, and it's been the only insert we've pulled of this style, it got into the gallery. Jalen Brunson, Clutch Gene. We've pulled a lot of this card. It's not rare. It's very common, but he really is the Clutch Gene. Out of all the players we've pulled, he's the most legit and fulfills that icon and that name the best. So that's a sentimental hit. And then we get into Wemby territory. Now look, Wemby was the huge chase card as a rookie. He's now almost feels like he's a veteran. But we did pull this. He's still probably the most popular player to pull. And we did pull this beautiful Wemby purple out of 75. I don't know how much the value is. Someone wants to look it up on the chat and let me know. That'd be curious because we've lost a lot of money so far on these first blasters. It'd be cool if this was worth a lot and we can recoup some of our coin. But anyway, even if we don't, it's all good. But this is a great looking card. I like parallels. I think they're good for the hobby, and especially when they're numbered. And this is an absolute gem out of 75. Purple. Very cool. Speaking of which, of purple, next Tuesday is back to my flagship show, the Sports Card Collectors Club podcast, which is kind of like Hot Ones, but for sports cards. So it's me, one-on-one with a guest, interview format, and we rip packs instead of eat hot wings. However, check this out. My guest coming up is Michaela Bear. And she's what's known as a super collector. So she's still in the hobby who's very passionate about very specific things. And she only collects those things. So, for example, she is obsessed with Stephen Kwan. And so she collects as many, like, parallels and one-of-ones. I can't imagine how many Stephen Kwan cards she has. I'm betting it's well over 100. She also has an obsession with pink cards. The reason why is because growing up, from her interviews, she said she was kind of a tomboy. She was never like with the part of the cool kids. She was kind of the geek who loved sports cards. But then when she got into the hobby, started making friends, she realized actually sports cards is pretty cool, and she developed her own kindred spirit of friendships around her. And she realized, you know what, it's not so bad. Pink is awesome. When she was a kid, pink was the girl color. But now she wanted to kind of like get back to that, and so she super collects pink cards. And when I was going through my cards, I'm always going through them and figuring out what I should sell or give away. And I found all these pink cards. There's a Joe Montana, Sebastian Walcott. Here's a Jeter Downs out of 199, a pink Bowman. Dane Myers. I never realized how many different pink parallels there are over the years. Eli White. But there are so many, and it's awesome. Here's a college football. and Zach Veen. And another college football, Ohio State. Isn't that amazing? She's from Ohio. So I don't know if she wants these cards because they're not all of her player, but it was pulling all these cards that made me think of her. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to invite her for an interview. This is like the sign from the universe. And so, yeah. So next week, Michaela Bear, 7 o'clock next Tuesday. All right. Back to business. Let's rip. Let's salute the sports card gods, the basketball gods, and may they bless us with something epic in the next set of boxes. Cheers. Oh, my bad. The last card was this Wemby Activators insert. It's got to be a super short print. I don't think I've ever pulled it before. Thank God we pulled it as a Wemby. Someone can look up in the chat how much this card's worth. Maybe it's $100. I have no idea. Maybe more. So we stayed optimistic, which is important. We never got negative, and the laws of probability eventually came our way. Oh yeah, let's rip this sealed the new way. So yeah, 1,008 people. It's insane. I'm still kind of in awe of how the power of the internet and how many people we can reach. I don't take for granted how many Twitter followers I have and stuff like that. But I do realize when I, promote these videos and it goes out on Paulie's network, Collecting Connecting, it's going to reach a lot of people. We each have thousands of followers, so certainly a percentage of them are going to join and follow, watch the live show. So I thank you for that. I did a VFriends 3-hour marathon rip session the other night, and when I finished, there was 2,842 people, I think. And that blew me away, and I'll tell you why. Just the prior week, I went to a concert. I saw Jesse Wells, the folk acoustic guitar player guy. And he played, actually, he was supposed to be at Grinders, because of the weather, they moved to Uptown Theater. And it was sold out. And the venue holds 2,400 people. And it was standing room only on the floor, and it was packed to the wall to wall. Not a seat available in the upper deck. Thankfully, I found one seat. I went by myself to review the show for my book series, For the Music Gods Are Real. And he was awesome, by the way, and his band was awesome. It was fabulous on so many levels. But I looked around, and I'm like, this is what 2,400 people looks like. And to think that, now, again, these are, they're paying, I paid $50 for the ticket, so he's making tons of money. I'm doing this for free. I don't make any money from it, unless you guys buy some of my books, and maybe I won't secondary. But I do this because I love the hobby. I just want to share with you guys. But the point is, I was like, dude, we had 2,800 people in our VFriends stream. That is incredible. So even though we're only at 1,000 right now, 1,000 is a lot of people. I mean, that could fill up a theater, a gym, actually several gyms probably. So I'm grateful for all you guys, because you can be watching anything right now on Netflix or on TikTok, and you certainly don't have to watch me rip packs. You can watch anyone else rip packs. And so the fact that you're spending your time with me, I really am grateful. I value your time, and I hope that this is entertaining for you, whether or not we rip, we pull big hits. Although it'd be better if we did, so hopefully we do. And but either way, thank you guys for supporting me and joining me. It would not be fun if I was doing this to nobody. It would be like, what's the point, So Jordan Neal, the baseball card store, he was the one who encouraged me to start doing pack openings live, and I'm glad he encouraged me to do it. It's been so much fun. And the community's been amazing. And so Jordan Neal, shout out to you, my friend. Speaking of which, is Jordan Poole, Rashid Fleming. Now, this Ant-Man, red, white, and blue, he's up there. He's probably one of the top 5 players in the league, maybe 10. I'm not sure this has any value, but that's close. Maybe only the Cooper flag, red, white, and blue is probably worth a lot here. Who knows? But that's a good-looking card. Draymond Green. Drew FTV. I don't know if you're still watching, but you wrote cheers. I'm now wondering if you're from like Europe or England or United Kingdom or something like that. I just did a podcast tonight for Pokemon before the show started, and all the hosts and other guests, I had never met them. I went in there, brand new, and the host is from Scotland. His name is Sean. He got a thick Scottish accent. He goes by Poke Economist, and he did a great job hosting. But it's so cool that, not just is Pokemon a global hobby, but like the internet connects people from around the world. It's just a fascinating thing. And by the way, in my book series, the Republic Baseball League, In volumes 1, 2, and 3, but increasingly more so as the story goes on, I write about the Age of Aquarius. And in real life, we're in the Age of Aquarius now. And one of the things that the Age of Aquarius promises is more community collaboration, more technology proliferation, and technology proliferation will enhance the community collaboration. And look at the internet. Look at websites or apps like Twitch and Buzzer and Facebook and TikTok and what YouTube provides. It's incredible. It really is amazing. You got Murray, Cam Jones. I'm trying to pull him a lot. Kobe White, Derek Lively Jr. Bus pack. Yeah, but it warms my heart to have people show up to my streams. I appreciate you guys. And what's cool about it is when I first got like thousands of visitors for the Topps Chrome before the Cooper Flag, I thought, well, maybe everyone's showing up because they want to see us pull Cooper Flag and whatever. They're just voyeuristic. And then I did VFriend, which is kind of a curious product. It's not very popular, and we had almost 3,000 people. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. This is really happening. So I'm really happy to come back to basketball now without the Cooper Flag chase and still having an awesome turnout. It's amazing. Grayson Allen, although I did do a 30-minute rip session earlier this afternoon, and it did not hit 1,000 people. I think that's the function of you got to do this stuff late at night if you want to get a good turnout when people are available and there's less, people can give you their attention. There's no other games on TV. Nightly news is over. People are still awake, nothing to do. Watch someone on the internet rip packs. Makes sense. When I did it at like 6 p.m., it's like rush hour. People are still at work. It wasn't the best timing, but I had the free time and I wanted to. And I was excited to do the 2 shows tonight, and I had all this energy. So I was like, let's do a quick 30-minute session. So that's what happened. And I was curious to see if we would get any turnout. But as you know, it takes time for the community to join in on a stream. And now we're over 1,000 people, but we're also now we're 40 minutes in. I only did it for 30 minutes, so I just didn't give the live enough time. All right, I'm starting to think the Dylan Harper card is not rare. We've pulled it again, the 4th time. CJ McCollum, Ray Wave, and then Shaden Sharp. Not a bus pack, but, nothing special. Dylan Harper, though, great player, very bright future. San Antonio, they're really young. They got a really good core. I think they're going to be in the finals again against OKC this year. Aaron Gordon, they'll lose in the quarterfinals or conference semis, I mean. AI. Here's Devin Booker, Stratospheric Stars. Does that deserve the gallery? I don't think so. Bam Adebayo. Maybe a $2 or $3 insert. 2 packs to go. Oh, you know what? We still have a mega box sealed. Sorry. Darius Garland, Aaron Wiggins. We've pulled this again. Wemby Activator. Can someone please pull that up now? I would pull it. I can't put it up on my phone because I'm using the phone as a camera, and I don't want to change. I can't pull up a second screen easily. I don't think, and I'm already using 2. But that will go to glass. That's another big hit, I think. Like I said, I love Wemby. He's awesome. This looks good. Back to back. Wemby activators. Oh, Drew FTV is from LA. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, cheers to you, my brother. My brother-in-law, Richard, lives in LA. He lives in Woodland Hills in the Valley. I love it there. It's great. LA's great. There's Siakam. There's Dort. There's Jarrett Allen in the orange alternative jerseys. That's a pretty rare pull. And then Zach LaVine. All right, similar blaster. We'll save the mega. We'll do that mega next, okay? Oh, here's a good question. Maybe Drew, if you're still around, you can answer this. I'm always curious how people find me. Even more so with my books before I was doing social media stuff and whatever. But like Drew, did you find me on Twitter? Did you find me on YouTube? How did you discover this stream? Are you a member of? Do you follow the Collecting and Connecting network? How did you find us? Oh, Paulie, an activator is $6 on eBay. Thank you for that. We pulled 2 of them. That's $12. That is very disappointing for that Wemby. Not a super short print. It is probably worth $1 a year from now. Paulie, look up this one though. Wemby purple out of 75. That's got to be worth something. If not, then I'm really just getting crushed tonight. But this is but I think it's got to be my best hit. Purple Wemby out of 75. Check that out, Paulie. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. Can please pull a numbered New York Nick from my boy Paulie. Let's get some good Nick going. Whoa, we got something though, dude. Where did that other one go? What did I do with it? Hold on. So earlier today in that 30-minute session, I pulled this Khalil Ware. I looked it up. It's an $8 auto, but I was still grateful for an auto because that was a pretty rough session. This guy, Deron Holmes II. By the way, the auto itself is sticker, not as elite. I haven't heard of this guy, so he's not one of the top players. It's not a rookie card. The auto is decent. It's kind of a big D. You can't really feel the Holmes II, but I'm grateful because we finally pulled a legit pull. We pulled an auto, and so I'm happy to deliver. So it's not Wemby auto. It's not Steph Curry, but that's pretty cool. I'm happy we pulled an auto. Let's get that some glass. I want my shows to be entertaining, and it can't just be about me being entertaining, like a dancing monkey. It's about sports cards, and it's about ripping wax. So you hope that the pulls are entertaining. That's the point of the show. It's about pulls. So that's pretty good. Again, if this was worth $8, I'm guessing that this one's worth $8 too. It's another non-rookie, non-familiar player, but we know how many packs we have to rip to find a decent pack, and I'm grateful that we finally pulled something pretty cool. So that's awesome. Next to the 2 $6 Wembys, Paulie. All right, then we got the rookie red, white, and blue with Brooke Barnheiser, and then Brandon Miller. We haven't pulled him very often. Brandon Miller. All right, I'm feeling pretty better. I'm feeling pretty good now. We're starting to get some momentum. Less excited about those 2 activators now that I know they're only worth $6, but I still love Wemby. And I'm happy about this Deron Holmes II auto. Here's Porzingis. Porzingis is turning into a real journeyman, isn't he? He's like on a new team every 6 months. But I like Porzingis. Here's Thomas Sorber. Here's Khalil Ware with the red, white, and blue. We just mentioned him because I pulled his auto. So now I'm really interested in this guy, and I hope he has a big season. Now I'm emotionally invested. And then Will Riley. Yeah, Paulie, it's a purple refractor out of 75 for Wemby. Thanks, dude. Here's Walker Kessler, Tyrese Proctor. Whoa, Rick Barry, a veteran card. Whoa. Okay, timeout. Let's pay some respect to that card real quick. Because $500 hit is legit. We earlier tonight tonight we were mentioning my biggest hits ever. That was one of the questions from the chat, and I mentioned 2 V friends. One went for 500, one for 2,000. a Paul Skeens for 500, a Jesus Mate for 310. If this sells for 500, and I'm guessing if I sell it tomorrow, a week later, it'll auction, and if it goes for that much, this will be one of my best pulls of all time that actually happened in this session. So that's pretty freaking cool. So let alone the two $6 refractors, activators. This is pretty sick. That's awesome, dude. So now it's actually, I complained how we were doing so poorly, but now we've pulled an auto. Now I pulled a really good hit, $500 purple parallel to 75, and we're not done yet, guys. So now I'm feeling the momentum starting to build. You feeling the momentum? In sports, I don't write about this enough. Maybe I should add this. In my Basketball Gods book, I don't write about rallies, right? But when momentum shifts and basketball, thanks, dude. Yeah, what a big hit, $500. But you know what? I've paid $50 per blaster, and we've opened 5 or 6 or 7 blasters. So, but you know what? We've mentioned this, you don't rip wax for profit. It's not a profitable activity. It's pure entertainment and it's fun. And if you can recoup anything, that's gravy. So now our coupon value is significant. So we're not profiting it anytime soon, but we've now recouped. We're probably now recouping 45% or whatever maybe of something we spent. We'll see. We'll see when it's over. We're not done yet. Anyway, here's a Rick Barry clutch gene, and here's a Naz Reid base. The thing about ripping wax, I rip wax. I love the product, but I do appreciate the economics of sports cards. I love economics. I love investing. It's what I do for a living. So I appreciate the value of the cards and all that stuff. I get down with that. I'm going to sell it raw. I'm not going to make the mistake of sending it in for $400 to get it PSA'd, a $500 card for $400 PSA fee or $140. I'll sell it raw. But to be honest, there's a whole level of gaming and gambling in the whole activity of getting cards graded, because you would think this card right here, guys, this should be a PSA 10, right? It came right out of the pack, brand new, right into glass. I mean, the centering looks good. To me, this looks like a 10. And you'll send it in, and you get like an 8. And you're like, what the? That's the most frustrating thing. And so I rather not send it in on my coin and then get my heart broken. Although it is fun to watch the process happen and then get the unveiling on the app and stuff. It is fun. It's very entertaining. But I'd rather just go buy a PSA 10, because if you're buying for investment purposes, and we know that the 10 is the elite asset class people want to own, because we know PSA 9s basically equal like raw card value, then I don't waste my time anymore grading cards. I've learned my lesson. I've lost too many. I've had too many grades come back poorly and spent too much money. I won't do it anymore. I would use a new company like CGC, and if they only charge like $13 or $12 or $15, then maybe I would do it again. But not with PSA with what they're charging. No way. And either way, if I wanted to, they have like a $14 million backlog right now. It'll take 6 months to a year to get your cards back. It's crazy. Sean at my Sean with PSA in our Pokemon interview. Oh, here's my dog. Be right back. Gotta take him out. Be right back, guys. Here we go. Good boy, buddy. Come on. Good boy. All right, the whole chat's still here. Amazing. As a dog owner, it's so rewarding when you train a dog because, like, how do they even know what you're saying, you know? And when they learn, go outside, potty, treat, all the words, you know, it's very rewarding when they like, our dog's been sick, he's been having accidents, we've been trying to get him better, going to the doctor, all kinds of medicines and stuff like that. And a lot of times he'll come running in here when I'm doing a session. By the time I get out there, it turns out he's already gone potty in the hallway or something. But this time, in the last few times, he's done a great job. He's like coming all excited to get me, and he's held it, and then he went outside and got a nice little treat reward. It's a good boy, so very happy. Clint Capella, Jameer Watkins, Zach Eady, who I feature in my first book, gets a whole chapter. And then here is a good rookie card. This guy's rookie patch auto is still available. Con Knuppel, arguably the number 2 rookie this past year. Maybe third. Dylan Harper, it's debatable. We'll put that into glass. That's a good hit. Still probably only worth $5, maybe 10. We did Paulie did a poll in the chat a couple of sessions ago. Who's the best 3-point shooter after Steph Curry? And Con Knuppel got a lot of love for that. And he's only a rookie, so we'll see what he does next year. It's exciting to find out how players can do from their first year to their second year. In that Grady Dick chapter I wrote a lot about his progression, like first year, second year, big difference. By the way, one of the really fun questions that they asked during the Pokemon roundtable was, are there any cards that you have bought or sold that you regret buying or selling? And I told the group that there were 2 cards that I had pulled during the Sports Card Collectors Club Volume 1 book that I showed the pictures of. And because they were so valuable at the time, I sold them thinking that, like, that's a prudent thing to do. You got to keep funding your hobby. So I had this Kaboom Brody Breck card. He pitched for University of Iowa, and he's now in the system coming up with the Colorado Rockies. And then, of course, the great legendary John McEnroe, which I pulled from a break on Fanatics Live, one of the first breaks I ever did online, and I sold them both. And I really regretted it because I felt like, you know what, like I want to collect cards that are special to me. And even though these are kind of higher dollar amounts, I usually collect low dollar cards that are special to me. Because I pulled them from the book, I kind of like, I should have just kept them. And so I bought back the Brody card for the exact price that I paid. And the McEnroe, I think I sold for $300 and bought it back for $200. So this would be another card that I consider to be one of my best selling cards ever. And I'm really happy to have it back in my PC. I will not sell them again. All right, let's get back to ripping. So we're approaching the 2-hour limit. Thank you guys for all the support tonight. I hope this has been fun. We did pull a $500 purple out of 75 Wemby. That's been our big hit. But I feel like the sports card gods should give us something even more than that. So let's see what happens the rest of the night. Here's Alex Sarr, Ryan Nembhard, Walter Clayton Jr. on the Wave, and then Austin Reeves bass. 2 more in this one. Anthony Simmons, Ben Saraf. Here we go. Caleb Love out of 150. Toronto Raptors rookie. Oh, excuse me. Trailblazers. Caleb Love, Trailblazers out of 150. That's good. And then Larry the Legend. Well, it turns out actually all the glass cases that I brought to my desk, I used them all, so I can't complain. But I'm gonna get some more because you gotta keep them handy for the good luck to flow. That it's kind of a dark blue out of 150. It looks pretty. It looks really good. So when I was a kid in the 80s, I took terrible care of the cards. We put them in a binder at best. We didn't have penny sleeves, didn't have top loaders, and we definitely didn't have the glass magnetics. These are my favorite. In fact, all this talk about PSA and grading cards and not getting good grades and spending and wasting so much money. Personally, if it's a super old vintage card, like a 1951 Bowman, you got to buy it graded because how do you know if it's authentic or not? So you have to. But when I can, like here's a George Brett rookie, one of my favorite players, IPC. I prefer it in glass and just the raw card. I just think it looks better. I don't need the whole frame and all that stuff. It takes up a lot of room too. So I understand the obsession with grading. It's a whole gambling addiction in and of itself, trying to hopefully get good grades and all that stuff. And for a lot of people, it's their business. One of the guests in the Pokemon group, his whole career is buying and selling and doing eBay, ripping cards, grading them, selling them for more money. So it definitely works for some people, but do the math. You can find out which sets gem rate at what percentage. And like I heard that Topps Chrome 2025 was getting like a very, very low, only 30% of 2025 Topps Chrome football cards were getting Gem Mint 10. So like once you know that data, like stop doing it. If it ain't broke, don't. If it's broke, don't. If it's broke, stop doing it. Anyway, I prefer the glass magnetics. All right, last pack from this blaster. All right, midnight on the East Coast. OG Anunoby, first time we've pulled this guy, and while the Knicks won the championship on the back of Jalen Brunson and Cat, it was OG Anunoby who had that insane tip-in the last seconds that really won everything. So this guy is really the man. Andrew Nembhard, Walter Clayton Jr., Dwight Powell, bust pack. So by the way, I've gone through all my jerseys. Oh no, I have one more. Sorry, I have one more to wear. I'm gonna have to go shopping and find some deals on eBay to get more jerseys, or get some kind of jersey sponsorship deal where some company will like mail me jerseys on the regular. Wouldn't that be sick? That would be the dream, Paulie. Get me a sponsorship with a jersey company, and I can wear a different jersey every episode of every show. So far, I've done that. I've yet to repeat a jersey so far. But that streak will come to an end eventually. This one kind of like stuck into the box, so let's rip this one first. So we finally pulled an auto. We finally pulled a numbered card. Now we've pulled two numbered cards. One of them was the Wemby out of 75, which is worth approximately $500, we think. Darius Garland, Aaron Wiggins, Nolan Traore, James Harden. I'm not sure we've ever pulled a James Harden base. The beard, he looks good. So I ate an early dinner because I had the show tonight. Kind of a superstition. I don't like to have a show on a full stomach or whatever, but I am kind of getting hungry. So I think we'll probably wrap it up at 2.5 hours. No need to continually break records for longest stream. I know we did an hour one, we did a 2-hour one, then we did a 3-hour one. No need to do 4 hours tonight, guys. We can call it a night. I would like to rip through all the Topps Chrome basketball if we can, but we'll see what happens. I can't even tell anymore. There's wrappers everywhere. I'm not even sure how many boxes we even have left. We'll have to wait and see. Josh Hart, Drake Powell, Drew Holiday, bust pack. First time we pulled Jalen Suggs. Don't think at this point we're going to break the record for the most people in the chat, which I think is 2,800. I think we had over 3,000 for one of my interviews with Brandon Roosevelt from the first one. Jordan Poole, Rasheed Fleming, Clint Capella, Will Richard. But I'm grateful. I watch some people's podcasts and they have like 10 people in the chat, and I appreciate what that's like. I've been there, believe me. Speaking of which, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, please subscribe. Please help me get over 100 subscribers. I'm stuck at 76. Although the truth is, anything over 50 I'm grateful for, because it wasn't until I got over 50 that I was able to go. I didn't earn my live privileges until over 50, so that was the big hump. I'm grateful for that. DeJounte Murray, Cam Jones. Here's a Jackie Kunis with the new edition rookie card. And then a guy we never pull, first time base, now on the Bucks, but this is Tyler Hero, the only current NBA player with a rap song named after him. So you gotta give him props for that. All right, let's keep going. So the thing about soda, I don't know if it's the sugar or maybe there's some salt in there too. It tastes so good, but it doesn't quench your thirst. It just makes you want to drink more of it. I think Gatorade does the same thing, by the way, ironically. Grayson Allen, Brooks, Bars, and Hazard. Oh, yeah, now we realize the activator insert is not that rare. Here's a Joel Embiid activator. And then here we go. It's just his base rookie, but it's the first one we've pulled in maybe ever. And we've pulled a couple of, we pulled his red, white, and blue. We pulled a couple of his inserts, but I guess this is this. You know, by the way, chat, do you have a hard time determining which is a base and which is a refractor? Also, I have a hard time figuring out which ones are the refractors. But this is Cooper Flagg, people. He's a potentially a once in generation talent. Hopefully, he stays healthy and continues to shine. His team's not very good. They were like one of the worst teams last year. They didn't get much better. But he was fun to watch play, and this is definitely a good hit. I don't know. I think this rookie amount going to go for like 10, 15, 20 bucks. But he's one of the big chase players, no doubt about it. That's a good hit. That's good. Definitely worthy of the gallery, yeah? Julius Randle, another Dylan Harper. I'm starting to think this guy is overprinted. This is cool. All right, I think this is the first red, white, and blue that should go to the gallery. This is the kind of, we discussed this. We like the veterans, the legends, but not too much. But this should be special. Larry Bird, red, white, and blue. That's pretty good. Scotty Barnes, first time we pulled him. Larry's going in the glass. So we're definitely starting to rally, starting to get some good hits. We got an auto, a couple numbered cards. Cooper Flagg rookie, Dylan Harper rookie, VJ Edgecombe, moment in time. Now we got our first cool legend parallel with Larry Bird. All right, last pack from this one. So yeah, my back's starting to hurt. Don't forget, I did a session, the Chronicles tonight. I was in part of a Pokemon podcast, and then right into this one, and it's now 2 hours. So I've been sitting a long time. That's too much. I'm gonna have to do some yoga after this for sure. We'll rip one more blaster, and then we'll call it a night. It'll probably wind up being 2.5 hours. Whatever it's over, it's over. But it doesn't matter. 1,000 people have stayed with me for almost the entire time, and I am grateful. Thank you to each and every one of you. Aaron Gordon, Allen Iverson. Oh, baby, look at this one. Wembanyama, red, white, and blue. Wemby has definitely been the theme of this session. We pulled 2 activators, $6 each. We pulled this red, white, and blue. Maybe it's a $12 card. Who knows? Maybe it's 10, 8. And we pulled the out of 75, which is worth, we think, 500. Some more glass. And there's Kevin Garnett for the first time. So, yeah, so it's the law of averages. If you rip enough stuff, it probably all balances out, although it's always going to be tilted towards the house, right? You're never going to really get your money back. But over a very short period of time, you can get very, very lucky and do really, really well. And then, like, we've done the first 6 or 7 busters. The first 6 or 7 blasters were busts, but then the last batch have been actually quite strong. So we've done a lot better. I feel a lot better about being able to deliver entertainment for you guys. Are those all the? Part of watching someone stream is, of course, the host, and if they're entertaining or not, if they bring good stories and good vibes and all that. That's what I'm looking for when I watch YouTubers, and I definitely watch a ton of YouTube. But also, it's the product they're ripping, and if I guess the entertainment of the actual hits themselves, and if they're any good. Oh, I know how we're gonna finish, guys. So we do have enough left over. I could see already. Gosh, wow! I bought a lot of this crap, dude. I promise this was the last product I'm going big on because it was basketball, and I'm like obsessed with the Basketball Gods book right now. So I knew it was such a unique product that I bought insane amounts, like 2 every day from every store in town. A little over the top, I admit it, but it's okay. It's fun. This is the last mega, but I think I do have it. I think I just counted quickly 9 more blasters. That's probably enough for another 90-minute show. So we'll do another rip some other night this week. In the meantime, let's rip one last mega box and we'll call it a night. I just decided I'm never going to stop thanking you guys enough for joining me because I really am grateful and appreciative. Your time is valuable and you're spending it with me, and I thank you very much. All right, last mega box. Let it be mega. I feel like the sports car gods have kind of been good to us lately, so I don't feel like they've forsaken us. I feel like it's been fair and balanced. But we know that there are 75 of the 99 rookie patch debuts still out there. Cooper Flagg's off the board. We still have Concanapple and Dylan Harper and a host of others. And for me, it's not even about the money. It's about the experience and having fun. But now that I'm doing this on YouTube and I'm trying to entertain you guys, and thank you for joining me, I would love to pull something totally insane right now so I can share that with you guys in the community. So, Sports Card Gods, do your thing. Boom, let's go. Well, I dropped it. That could be good luck. Darius Garland. Oh, I do. Look at that. Oh, no. I got excited, but it was Fortune 15 of Julius Randle, Lonzo Ball X Factor, Giannis X Factor, and then the horizontal hero, Al Horford. Bust pack. Number 2 of the Megas. 7 cards instead of 4. Siakam. Oh, another Fortune 15. Dort, Kawhi Leonard, Hachimura X Factor, Devin Booker Wave, Micah Peavy rookie card. That's one of those Can't say it's a bust, but can't say you're happy about it either. I sure wish the Kansas City Kings were a real team still, and I can pull my home team, but let's try to pull some Knicks. Kawhi Leonard, Tobias Harris, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey X Factor, Ben Saraf rookie card Wave, Steven Castle base. BUST. 4 to go. My favorite number. Dyson Daniels, that's the first time we've pulled him. Colin Murray Boyles, Andrew Nembhard, Peyton Pritchard, first time we've pulled him. X Factor, Cayman Maliwak, Michael Porter Jr., Bus Pack. 3 to go. So I'll make it official. Tonight's episode was called the Rip Sessions. This was the second episode, but as you know, the format's basically been like my Card Life Chronicles format, which is what this is, just like this: me ripping packs, second camera, joining the chat, doing it live. It's been too challenging to try to get a cast of characters together to be guests on the show, and I don't want to spend my time having to be a booker and get guests to make sure that people show up every week. I was hoping that people would just organically show up, like what happened last week, but only one person with Levi. I am willing to do that to book guests constantly for my regular show. But the truth is, I love just being spontaneous and doing this. But I also think that it's unfair for people who want to watch my show, Chronicles, but can't because it's so spontaneous. And so what we'll do is, starting next week, we'll do my regular Tuesday night show. And the following Tuesday, 2 weeks from today, we won't do rip sessions anymore. We're gonna shut that show down, and we'll do the Car Life Chronicles, which is basically what it was tonight. Just wasn't branded that way, and with that way, it'll be the once every 2 weeks. It'll be scheduled, so you can catch the other episodes on replay on YouTube when they get posted. But if you can't catch them live, but either way, every 2 weeks there'll always be a scheduled episode, which you can plan on watching ahead of time and mark your calendar or set the reminder and watch it. So in 2 weeks, this will become the Card Life Chronicles show, and so I'll just basically have 2 shows on the network, which is all good. I thought that a Rip Sessions idea was really cool. When I wrote the book, I could have named it the Sports Card Investment Club. I didn't. It was the Collectors Club because I wanted it to be about collecting, about community. But I think I'm a little ahead of my time thinking that we can get a virtual roundtable going every week. So it's just not, it's just whatever. It is what it is. So I'm just going to do it my way on solo, and that's certainly awesome too. So yeah, that's the announcement there. Here we go. Walter Clayton Jr., Anthony Simmons, Jeremiah Fears, Clutch Gene rookie card. That's cool. Trey Young X Factor, Bill Russell X Factor, Joan Behringer. That was a decent pack. 2 to go. Ben Seraph, Alex Sarr, Bill Russell Waywave, Duncan Robinson. Have we pulled him yet? X Factor. Rudy Gobert, one of the great defensive players in the league. X Factor. And Fred Van Fleet. Last pack magic. Dude, we have 1,012 people. Once again, more than 1,000 people. That's a lot of people, man. I mean, I'm really grateful for you guys spending your time with me. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed my stories. I hope you enjoyed the polls. We'll do a quick recap when we're done. But yeah, we're getting almost to 2.5 hours. I'm getting tired. I'm getting hungry. My back's starting to ache. I need to do some yoga. And so this will be our last pack of the night. But we will do one more rib session of Topps Chrome Basketball because I still have some stash to go. So we'll do that, sometime this week. Again, last pack. Good luck. Mike Conley, Anthony Davis, DeAndre Ayton. Here's a cool one. Carl Anthony Towns, X Factor, Rob Dillingham, Noah Pendy. I mean, to end on a Cat X Factor, probably $5, maybe 10, but it's poetic. I love the Knicks. The Knicks won their first championship in 53 years. I hope they can repeat, but even if they don't, it's going to be a great season. There's a lot more parity this year. The free agent signings like LeBron to Philly, the trade like Ja to Portland, Giannis to Miami, all these different moves, I think, going to make the league next year really, really entertaining. The schedule just came out. We now know who's playing on opening day. We now know who's playing on Christmas Day. So we're only like 70 days away from opening day tip-off. So the truth is, focus will shift to football real soon because the preseason games are going to begin in earnest this week. But for the next week, until then, it's going to be basketball, and then we'll focus on probably football cards until the basketball season starts again, and then we'll probably have Series 1 to rip, and that's going to be epic. So yeah, so we'll do one more big mega rip of Topps update because I still have some inventory, and we'll definitely be doing more basketball because we've got to get into all my rips I have set up for the Car Life Chronicles Volume 3 material, and it's very, very it's very diverse, but it is also very basketball heavy. And it's obviously because the timing is right. It's what I'm working on the Basketball Gods of Real book as well. So that's just what I'm interested in ripping right now because I'm just feeling the good vibes. So anyway, we finished strong with a Cat X Factor. Go Knicks, go! Go NBA, go! And I just want to say to each and every one of you, 1,100 people, 1,011 people, thank you so much. I hope this was fun. The winning pull was the Wemby Purple out of 75, which we think is going to go for around $500. That'll help recoup a portion of the money that I spent, but I don't think it's going to be a huge amount. Jay Destiny, dude, you're a trooper, man. If you've been watching all night, I thank you so much, dude. You know I love you, bro. Great day of streaming it was. First we did the card live session, 30-minute show earlier today. Then we did a Pokemon show. I think we even we may even create a new Pokemon collector in Jay Destiny. He might have to go buy his first PSA 10 Charizard or something like that, or Pichu. He's my favorite. But whatever you're feeling, Jay Destiny, or even just go get some packs and rip and have that experience, because that's where the real magic happens, is ripping the packs, I think. And then doing the show tonight, a lot of fun. LOL, yeah, dude. It's so much more fun when the chat is active. It's true, and that's one of the things about going live. I could do these shows, just record them, but doing it live, I think, is more authentic. It feels more real. It's a little more exciting for me, and the chat component is so critical, because community is what hobby is all about. You can do a hobby and do it solo, but it's way more fun when you can share your hobby and something you love with like-minded people who love the same things as you do, so much that you can then share them together. And so, whether we pulled big hits or not tonight wouldn't have mattered. It was more about the fun of ripping and just seeing what you get. Definitely didn't break even, but we definitely rallied towards the end and finished really strong with a couple of autos, a couple of number cards, and we even pulled a Cooper Flag rookie. So I'd say it was a success, no matter what. But yeah, even card wise, I think we did okay. We did pretty good. So we'll do it one more time again this week. Jay Destiny, Paulie, and everyone else who's in the chat tonight, thank you for the support. We finished with 1,000 strong. That's amazing. I'm grateful. And as always, God bless. You guys take care.